spotlight. I'm Mike, this is Lauren, this is Lena Stefanski, who owns...
Lena's Pierogi House.
That's right, here in downtown Hubbard. How about that?
This is Michael's first time walking in here. I have to be honest, we live not too far away, so we come and we get your pierogies all the time. And we love them. We simply love them. There's so many different kinds. And the reason that we're here today is because the dining room is finally open again.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was it a rough ride there for a little bit?
It was very rough. We had carry out, and there was times when we were 3, 4, 5 hours for a wait.
Really?
People were calling days ahead. Yeah, because we have a small kitchen, so we can only put out so much.
Right.
So.
How many different kinds of pierogies?
We have about 75.
75 kinds.
75 kinds.
And she made us some stuffed cabbage today with halushki. I can turn that around a little bit. And this is...
That is chicken paprikash.
Bowl of goodness right here.
And then you've got what? You've got the buffalo chicken, is that right?
Buffalo chicken pierogi.
And then in front of me is...
Those are the potato.
Oh, the classic potato. You're never going to go wrong with this, but I have to admit, there's so many different kinds. And the dill ones that you keep frozen back there, or sometimes you can get them out here in the front. So darn good, and we're so glad that you guys have been open for how long now in Hubbard?
It is going on 2 years this October.
So not too long.
And you make them fresh all the time, right?
All day, every day.
All day, every day. And these are all of your recipes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember making them when you were a kid?
I did not. I started when my kids were toddlers. I stayed home with them for a while, and so I started getting them in the kitchen because I love being in the kitchen. So they all have the things that they love to do in the kitchen. So that's where it started.
And your daughter's back here today.
My daughter is here. She runs the front counter.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to see, and we were waiting for this to open back up again because we'd have to wait outside, and then it was crazy.
It was crazy.
6 pierogies for $5. This is a huge. I mean, you're gonna love it. You are absolutely gonna love it. If somebody said to me today, "What do you want to do today?" I would say, "Sit around and eat pierogies." And if you had that same answer, we can be friends because that's the kind of person I am.
When we were talking about coming here, Mike via the text messages, he said, "I'm in. You don't have to sell him money."
The number of exclamation points after the word yes was like 2 rows.
And we do have to say thank you to our Steelite partners for letting us come to these local restaurants and show off what it is that they do. So thank you to that whole team for making this possible. And Lena, thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
Good job, Lena. Thank you. Stick around. We're going to have you on at the end, too. They're open Tuesday through Friday.
Noon to 8. We take our last order at 7:30.
Okay. Is there a website or Facebook page that people should go to?
Lena'sPierogiHouse.com, and we also have a Facebook page.
Can you order online, or should you just call and do it?
No online ordering, just calling in.
And if the line is busy, just try again.
You'll
get through eventually, I promise. I promise. All right, Michael, first up, we're going to a new store.
Well, the show is kind of all about passion, doing things like you want to do, and one gentleman in Boardman is doing that and kind of filling a niche where there was a need.
My dad has a passion for cycling. Other people have a passion for running. My passion is skateboarding.
You might know Robbie Yankish and his dad Jim for their great work at YM Camera in Boardman. But upstairs from there is a new store that Robbie has started, fueled by his passion.
I think I got my first board when I was around 10 or 11, and I've been doing on and off for years, but for the last 5 years I've been really hitting it hard.
Why do you think you like it so much?
I just think it's fun. I've always loved the culture. I just think it's so cool. It was kind of the outside in the 90s and early 2000s, where now it's slowly breaking into the mainstream.
So Robbie started Shutter Skate Shop, a play on words with his camera background, and it was a long time coming.
They said that they were seeing incredible numbers through the pandemic, that there's so many skate shops wanting to open, skate shops that are already open ordering more decks, more trucks, more bearings, more wheels than ever before. So it took me a year to get this going. No, the reason I opened Shutter Skate was because the lack of a local cool skate shop, for kids to go to, for parents to take their kids, for veterans who've been skating for years around this area, or people looking to get into it. There's in Western PA, there's 6 or 7 shops outside of Pittsburgh that you can go up to Cleveland, like Akron, Columbus, but Youngstown doesn't have a skate shop, and that's really what I wanted to be. I put some nice big orders in, Right now, I have over 100 decks here, and pretty much everything you can want if you're trying to build your first skateboard. So, like a smaller width.
Oh, so that may be wider than this one.
Right, yeah, like I think this is like an 812, I think that's an 825, but I think they're similar size. But like the wider decks are mainly used for transition skate, which is like skating ramps and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's really customizable, so anywhere from the deck, from the wheels, the bearings inside the wheels, there's different grades of those, to the trucks, to the grip tape on the front and stuff like that. Like we're gonna go together and pick out every component of the skateboard, and then we're gonna build it right in front of you.
If the shop weren't unique enough, that personalized service makes it one of a kind and makes you believe that skateboarding can be big business in this area.
People love skateboarding. That's like, I just think everything that comes with it, and you can be precise, you can cruise with it, you can do transition, which is skating on ramps, you can do street, you can really do it just about anywhere you have concrete and four wheels. We just had Nigel Houston go to the Olympics trying to win a gold for skateboarding. It's just, it is funny how it is become serious and it's become big. It's in a renaissance more than ever. If you look at Instagram, anything, there's so many people getting into skateboarding, and there's so many people taking it to the next level. It really is. It's a huge sport. I'm slowly seeing that Shutter is taking over YM Cameras Loft. It's growing quicker than I thought.
And Robbie's next challenge, making this sport more accessible for everyone in the Youngstown area.
As I said, in Western Pennsylvania, there's other skate shops. There's probably 4 or 5 outdoor skate parks. Youngstown has 0. So it is kind of frustrating on our end too, because I want to have places for the kids to skate.
Well, it's just the beginning.
It is just the beginning.
So there you go. A skate park in the Youngstown area would be a good idea, wouldn't
Let's
it?
hope so. I know there's so many kids that can't find a place to do it. And I never knew that you could make your own. I didn't know anything about like how
Usually
the
it's
wheels are attached.
Get your hand-me-down from the garage sale down the street, right?
Right, and hope and pray that it works. So great
Right.
job to the Yankish guys. It's good to see them.
Oh, I got to see Jim too. That was wonderful. So,
Oh, Michael, this story, we've been waiting for so long to be able to put this one together. And I don't know about you, but I could use a haircut.
I need one too. How about that? She just picked it right out of the air.
This haircut is one for the record books, though, so take a look at this.
Not all haircuts are created equal. Some are good and some are bad, and we all remember the bad ones.
I don't know. I just know when I turned 21, the girl that cut my hair chopped it, and I had to get my hair cut again. It was about down to here, day before my 21st birthday, and she chopped it off. It was shaved up the back short and about this long on the top of my head. So I said when I turned 30, I'm gonna have long hair, and my hair was almost to my butt when I turned 30.
But some haircuts are simply a cut above the rest. For Debbie Davis, this haircut is not about improving her looks or her self-esteem. This trip to the salon is different. This trip is all about Renee Burroughs' self-esteem. It's all about her as she battles blood cancer in her bone marrow.
Next week, I start the part where they're collecting my stem cells to get the cancer, and they freeze it, and then they'll put it back into me. And with some strong chemo, I'll have my whole immune system cleaned out. I'll have to start off like a new baby and get all the shots that you've ever had. And hopefully this will put the cancer in remission. In the meantime, I will be bald, completely bald.
Sometimes you never know when or where you will meet people who go above and beyond, especially in the midst of a pandemic.
And I met my friend Debbie at the Hope Center, and she always had this most beautiful hair. And she offered to give me her hair. And this is, of all the people that are in and out of this Hope Center, she would give her hair for me, human hair. There's so many different kinds of wigs and stuff, but they, you look like maybe a mop on your head, but to have real hair, this is something very, very wonderful that she's giving to me.
I see a lot of people every day, which I was kind of baffled of how many people go in and out of there every day and get that kind of treatment and just walk around all the time with after chemotherapy. And she complimented on my hair a few times and she's like, oh my gosh, your hair is just so gorgeous. And I'm getting a little tired of my hair. So I thought rather than just cutting it all off and having it go nowhere, that I could get it made into a wig.
In order to have the wig with Debbie's hair created for Renee, they're asking for help since it costs about $1,000 to go through the process.
And she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I would feel like Elizabeth Taylor if I ended up with your hair. So I looked into it, and there's a company that makes halos, but then but you always have to have on a hat or a do-rag or something like that. And I asked her and I said, well, would you be interested in that? And I didn't think she would be a hat person. So I looked into getting a wig made, and there's a place in California that does it. And so I started making some phone calls and got a hold of you, and here we are.
If you're interested in helping, visit the GoFundMe page called Hair for Renee.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing the look on Renee's face once she gets to try my hair on, which sounds really crazy, but well, I might not be able to see her face if we're still wearing masks by then, but I'm just hoping that she enjoys it as much as I think she's going to.
It's part of that healing process that you will feel better once you look better. And even though I will be a very, very sick little girl at this hospital, I'll be very, very happy that I have this look in the mirror, and I'll think of my good friend Debbie, that she sacrificed to give this to me so that I can look like everybody else.
So if you would like to help these women, and I'm hoping and praying that you do, the GoFundMe page, like we just mentioned, is Hair for, with the number 4, for Renee, and you can look it up on GoFundMe. $1,000, Mike, to have this wig made, and it seems like, you know, let's make it happen, right?
We'll be done for $20.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, if everybody out there just does $10, we'll be done.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
All right, what's coming up?
It's canning season.
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Canzonetta, Jeff, and Michael take over the kitchen and show us how it's done in just a moment.
Yep, we'll have that for you after the break.
River Rock at the Amp is back for 2021. All summer long, we've got the greatest tribute bands around. Visit riverrockattheamp.com for the complete schedule and get your tickets online, at the door, or at the Sunrise Inn in downtown Warren. At RC Compounding, their team of pharmacists specialize in erectile dysfunction therapies that don't have to cost an arm and a leg.
It's becoming more and more comfortable to talk about these things. And we're not doctors, but we're pharmacists. But you can call and talk to us, and we will tailor something to you. We will reach out to your doctor. We'll collaborate with you, collaborate with your doctor. We compound a specific drug for a specific patient.
RC Compounding, we care about your health.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0.
Welcome to Pesto's Test Kitchen. This is Pesto. This is, do you have a name?
Yeah, Jeff Canzonetta.
No, like oregano or marinara or anything?
Papa
You're
Jr.
Papa now?
Papa Jr.
Baby Papa?
He's got a couple nicknames. We call him El Jefe, the chef.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is going to be fun for me because I don't know anything about this, so I have a million questions.
You've never canned in all your years.
I've never canned. I've never seen anybody can. Wow. We've never done it.
It's a wonderful world of preservation. Yeah. It started off because we didn't have refrigeration, and it's led into this massive thing where it's like a cult thing where people love to do it. Family generations love to do it. Mm-hmm. But it started off as a method of preservation.
It seems like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, like on January 23rd when you want tomato sauce, then you're all set, right?
Right. When it's like 9 degrees below zero and you don't want to go down to your favorite family grocery store, you can go down to your cabinet and pull out a jar of peppers or a jar of tomatoes and make sauce.
What are we going to make today?
We're going to make pickles.
Okay.
We're going to make dill pickles.
Okay.
We're going to make bread and butter pickles.
Okay.
A little bit of spice.
Okay.
We're going to make some yellow tomato sauce, some red tomato sauce, and some hot peppers, because our father, Jeffrey's father, my father, was Papa Canzonetta,
Right.
and it's kind of a mini tribute to him because this was his passion.
And you actually took a canning course.
Correct.
At a major university.
University of Tennessee.
And so why did you do that?
Well,
It seemed like you already knew everything.
Well, my father actually went to LSU too.
Okay.
So we both had to get our certification.
Okay.
Which was a 3-day course. And testing every hour and a half. I mean, we were there doing it.
So you were canning something and then you had to stop and take a test?
Well,
and
not
then...
actually canning. It was more book work.
Okay.
I mean, they teach you the principles of how to, do it from point A to point B to C to D to F and get it done right.
Did you
And they
feel
taught you
like...
that so you don't hurt people.
Right. Well, there's a lot
As
of...
a doctor, actually, we had the Cornell University get our recipe, and they actually had a doctor make sure that all the pHs, everything was correct for us to process.
What can happen? What can go wrong when you're canning that could actually really hurt somebody?
Well, first you have to clean the product.
Okay.
That's huge.
So when you buy these from the store, then you got to clean them too?
Oh, absolutely. You're supposed to. Or else some people actually will blow air in them. You can blow air in them to get any, you don't want any residue or any particles in the jar.
Okay.
I prefer to actually run them through a dish machine cycle on just a quick rinse.
Okay.
So you get about that 140, so you kill off some bacteria. Because,
what about the lids?
Well, the lids you have to also do a separate way, but the biggest thing we want to talk about is we don't want anybody to have botulism. And that's one of the things that can happen, in canning, botulism, horrible if you ever get that. It's a bad part of your life you're going to go through in the hospital. And like when we're talking about canning hot peppers, when we're using garlic, what Jeffrey was referring to acidifying, that brings the pH level down. So that product will be shelf stable, so we won't have anything growing inside of that. So with peppers and oil, you have to have an acidified, or when I talk about acidifying, I'm talking about any kind of vinegar or lemon juice or anything that lowers acid lowers the pH level in products, and that makes them stable.
And it's easy to make mistakes. You've made mistakes doing it, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just for instance, when you put your product, let's say you put your product in your jar, this rim right here is so important, and my father always taught us the 3 wipe system, where we actually take a fresh paper towel, not one of your everyday towels in your kitchen.
Not the quicker picker upper.
You want a fresh paper towel, and you do that rim 3 times.
With
that paper towel's been
with a
dipped
little
in
bit
vinegar.
of vinegar and water,
Yeah.
and let it dry, and then put your lid on. That really makes a clean surface, because that surface is huge when you're canning.
And if you don't have that clean surface, then it doesn't...
Well, if you have oil on it, it won't seal, and then you'll have a bad product.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll know it's going to be bad because it's going to pop open, and it could pop open and go all over your ceiling because so much gas builds up. But we have a lot of products here. You got some clean canola oil. You got vinegars of 3 different types of vinegar: red wine vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar. We have some turmeric, canning salt, pickling salt.
Huge.
That's a huge one.
Don't just use regular salt.
If you use regular salt, it has a lot of chemicals in it. And we don't ever use iodized salt, and I haven't used it in 10, 15 years just because it's not pure.
This
is pretty pure.
Because of the chemicals in it, and it helps preserve the pepper also.
Yeah, if you don't have canning salt, you can also use a large flake kosher salt. That's pretty clean. Or we have some Maldon sea salt over there that gives you another layer of flavor.
That's
a lot of big flake, and it's very clean and natural.
You want to get started on some stuff?
Well, we'll get some started, but I just want to throw a big heads up. You want to have great produce.
Okay.
Because great ingredients in usually means great products out. And we're very blessed to have Molnar Farms. Rick Molnar and Jill Molnar and their family is out there doing their hardest work. And as we all know, we had a rough start to summer this year. So they were able to get these great products in. They were a little bit late, but I'll tell you what, when you take a cucumber, a pickling cucumber, and it snaps like that, taste that. The freshness of that is just amazing. These yellow tomatoes, the red tomatoes, a lot of peppers.
All right.
Isn't that great?
I didn't realize on tomatoes you had to take the skins off the tomatoes.
Yeah, we do. And so Jeffrey's going to, do a process over there. He's going to cut out the cores, and then we're going to take and dip those into boiling water over here.
All right, go ahead.
So Jeffrey, if you want to do that.
That one's been cored already.
So what we want to do is we want to cut an X in it, and then we want to cut out the core. Okay, and then we're just going to blanch those in a little bit of boiling water, you know, for about 30 seconds on each side, and then we're going to take them, we're going to hit them into the ice water bath, and that ice water bath is going to take over those skins off, because back in the day, you know, grandmas used to sit there with that tomato grinder, and it used to grind all the skins off. Now we get rid of that step, so it's not as much work. We have some modern appliances we can use. You can put it into a blender to puree the tomatoes down. You can just cook them down and smash them with potato smasher, whatever you want to do to make that happen.
Same process for the pickles and the peppers, or is
well,
that
the pickles, you know, you can slice these on the slicing attachment on your food processor.
Okay.
You can hand cut them depending on how thick you want. And then if you're doing a pickle, like a dill pickle, you can either cut it in half, cut it into quarters for a spear, or do it whole. Now, if you do them whole, you might want to salt them for a couple days before to get that so it permeates through. But we're going to cut them in half because those are just awesome in the flavor. And then, Jeffrey, talk about some of the peppers we have here, the different types of peppers.
Now, are these the peppers you have in your Papa Canzonetta peppers?
No, well, actually, I have this true Hungarian wax pepper.
Okay.
You can get this locally. A lot of farms do it. Molinars,
Some people grow them.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of families do it. They do their own little canning thing at their houses. And then here you have your goat horn, which is going to be a little bit hotter than this Hungarian.
And it's shaped kind of like a goat horn.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little curly, a little curvy.
And then we have just your yellow sweet, which will give it a little bit of sweetness to overset this hot.
Do you guys like a mixture of them?
I personally do.
Medley is good. You know, when I'm canning at home, I like the color. So the orange is good. I also like the red. So
and the red is basically a mature pepper, so everybody knows that's a mature green pepper that's gone. And you can see some of those in the green peppers down the way over there. How they call them suntans, and they turn into, now like a pimento is a specific type of pepper, but a lot of green peppers will end up turning red because they're mature.
Okay.
And a lot of people like to take the seeds out, and we were talking about this earlier.
That's what I was giving you.
The main thing is I cut right off the tip, you know, and then you have like a little, you can hollow that out and take out the seeds.
So after you blanch that, Mike, for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, see how that skin just comes right off. And you want to take that skin off because tomato skin actually doesn't digest in your digestive system. So you have that beautiful tomato, and that beautiful tomato can be used for sauce, or you can turn that into a great caprese salad. Because your guests are going to see that you took that extra level of step to take off that skin for them.
Ceviche.
Yeah, or for ceviche. All right.
We'll take our break now.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back later on in the show, we're going to show you how to do this, how to put it in the jars, and then the finished product here. Is this good luck?
Well, that's sugar over the shoulder, so I think you created a new thing.
I like to just mess up.
Are you going to do Salt Bay?
I don't even know how to do that.
You don't know how to do it? We'll do that in another segment.
All right, very good. Good job, you guys.
All right.
Be back in a little while. All right.
A to Z Dependable Services now offers walk-in tubs and showers in as little as 1 day. Let us create a safer bathing experience in your bathroom or the shower of your dreams. Call A to Z Dependable Services today for a free estimate or visit us online at onlyatoz.com.
Salt Me is a company that produces products that are made out of Himalayan sea salt. I have a love affair with Himalayan sea salt. And as an ear, nose, and throat doctor, the most important thing for me is that the products are going to be effective and that they're going to be safe for patients. So I make products that help sinus conditions, and I make products that are going to be good for the skin and good for the body. And all of them are made of Himalayan sea salt.
Welcome back to Lena's Pierogi House right here in downtown Hubbard.
Yeah.
I've never seen you eat so many things before.
I've had everything.
We're not even halfway through the show.
And you've had nothing. How about I talk for a little bit when you're done here?
It's only, right, I'll let him go, but it's only because I've had them so many times, Mike.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I really have,
so
and they're
lucky.
so good.
It's my first time. So
good.
Open Tuesday through Friday, okay? Lunch and dinner. So give them a call, get your order in, or just come in and eat here in the restaurant.
Yeah, that's why we're here. The dining room is now open. All right, Michael, how many different kinds of glasses have I worn over the years?
Oh, starting from the beginning. And her eyes hurt for a long time, too, so she needed the right kind.
Yes, I did. And these people in Sharon, Pennsylvania, Eyes of Faith, when you first of all know what this means to our group, where they're located, you'll be like, oh my goodness. And then the glasses that they create are not just great looking and easy, but they also mean something. So take a look at this. my goodness, there are so many different levels of excitement that I have to be able to bring you Jim Schneider and his wife Amy, who you're not seeing right now, but Jim Schneider in the Eyes of Faith optical showroom.
Showroom/headquarters. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All of it is happening right here in downtown Sharon, and it's a space that my team and I have actually collaborated in many, many times. We're very familiar with it, but it is one of those things I cannot wait to showcase and to bring a brand like Eyes of Faith into this building, into this space. I am beyond words proud and excited for you guys. Such a wonderful company, a wonderful brand, directed by wonderful people. I told you I get a little emotional on this one.
It's okay. If you're not crying during this, it's something's wrong, right?
It is. You guys are abundantly special in the world of optical, and when it comes to glasses and sunglasses, what you develop, what you create is remarkably attractive, but then there's a lot of feeling behind it.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask you, Jim, you guys founded the company in 2008.
Yes.
Why? Why? There's lots of glasses out there, lots of them.
That's a good, what happened, I was praying September 28, 2008. I was simply just asking God to use me. I was in the insurance business doing extremely well, and just asking God to use me for his purpose, and I prayed that for months, okay? And then finally just this idea came to me during that time to start an eyewear company that honors God. And I'm like, okay. So I woke up my wife Amy from a very deep sleep. Okay?
Wake up.
She likes to sleep in, but I don't. I woke, Amy, I think I have an idea to start an eyewear company that honors God. She's like, you're crazy, go back to bed, Jim. But what happened was, after her cobwebs cleared, and I didn't know this was happening, but she was praying the same kind of prayer, God, how are you gonna use me? All I know how to do is fit people for glasses and love them unconditionally.
Wow.
And I tell you, she knows how to do that.
Yes, she does.
Especially the unconditional love, Pete. I mean, she's amazing. So we kind of came together and we I think there's something to this. And so the next day we booked a trip to go to Vision Expo West, which is the second largest optical showcase in Las Vegas in the country. So we thought came to me on Sunday. We booked a trip on Monday and arrived in Las Vegas on Wednesday.
That is what I call decision making.
We went and there's thousands of brands of eyewear, right? And nothing represented faith in the entire world of eyewear.
And if you think about it, like you're seeing is believing, and believing in something that you cannot see is what faith is.
Exactly.
Is that a good way of saying it?
That's a great way to say. Eyes of Faith was born because we want people to literally be seeing with eyes of faith their entire day.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's like God is everywhere. Just look out.
Yep, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But the frames and the lenses and the artisticness behind this process is so many tiers to it, and you guys do so much of it right here, and you have 500 different accounts across the United States. Like this is not just something that's right here locally, folks. Like this is countrywide, and you guys take it so seriously in the way that you create your glasses.
Amy and she's so good at designing a pair of glasses. She's an optician by trade, so she designs that pair of glasses with the optician in mind for perfect fit, comfort, color, style, shape, everything. So she does that, then she adds this really cool ingredient, which is we subscribe to the world's leading trend forecaster for fashion. So she's looking out 2-3 years in advance of what's happening out there, because we're always planning ahead. We're always designing ahead.
Everything is so different here, I have to admit.
Yeah. So that's what we do, and we do something really unique with our frame line. We actually name every frame. And there's a corresponding scripture on the inside of the temple that really sets us apart from all the other brands out there.
When you look at something every single day and it's so much a part of your life, and I'm a glasses wearer, I'm not with contacts in right now, but when you depend on them the way that we should be depending on, God and faith, and it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as it's something that is creating a power of good in your life, it's impactful. And other people have noticed, and there's a radio host, Delilah.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, you have listened to Delilah on some nights when you have needed some grounding or some uplifting. One and the same. And she's one of those famous people that you never know what they look like. And she's kind of all over this showroom. But you guys have an interesting, remarkable relationship.
Amazing relationship with Delilah. Try to do this quickly, but a couple years ago, through a mutual friend, he called us and said, "Hey, Delilah's going to be in New York emceeing a Broadway event. We would love for you guys to come and get introduced to her.
Just say hey.
Show some glasses to her, maybe do a social media post, something like that." And so that hour meeting in New York turned into a 4-hour meeting. And she just loved the brand. She loved everything about it. She loves the underdog, right? She loves small companies.
She does.
She has 13 adopted kids, right? She loves the underdog. And she just at the end of that 4-hour meeting, she just grabbed her hands and just prayed this most powerful prayer. And everybody was crying, right?
Of course. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that would have been like.
And then we showed her a prototype at that time of our frames that were coming out in September. And it had these beautiful angel wings on the side. And she kind of teared up she's like, "I have 2 angels. I had, two sons died. One from sickle cell, who was adopted from Africa. And the other one committed suicide at age 18. That was a biological son." So she felt that, right? And and then the next morning, I'm actually walking through Central Park, and I'm just thinking and praying, like, we should collaborate with Delilah on this project.
And then you did, and then it went worldwide.
We did this thing, and it literally worldwide when it said we're impacting this village called Point Hope in Ghana, West Africa. That's her village that she started to help orphans and widows.
Wow.
Give them security, give them running water, give them just
what they
shelter.
need. Mm-hmm.
And so we collaborated with her to build these small homes for these people. Wow. And we've already built 3. Yeah.
I really need to do more with my spare time there, Jim. That's for sure. We're going to stay with you and follow this brand and this business as much as we can. You guys have big, exciting things, but it's located right here in downtown Sharon. Eyes of Faith, eyesoffaith.com, right?
It's EOFoptical.com.
Okay. EOF Optical. And you can come see their showroom, meet their team. They collaborate right here, and the glasses, they're light, they look great. They make a world of difference. And I was in optical for a while, and Central Optical, they make your lenses, so I know it's really good stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we wish you the very best from the bottom of my heart. Me and Fred, thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
A big deal for us to see you guys here. So thank you.
All right, dear.
Eyes of Faith Optical, located right there in downtown Sharon. Look them up online or on Instagram and Facebook. Such a wonderful group of people out there. Speaking of wonderful people, let's send it out to Mike and Kelly.
Hey there, welcome to another edition of Home Advantage. My case, Kelly Warren. The summer of 2021 continues. Isn't it gorgeous around here? The only summer where the grass doesn't turn brown was this summer.
Yeah.
You're okay with the rain every single day?
I am, I like all of our different seasons. And
well, this has been the rainy season.
Right.
The monsoon season. All right, let's talk about this place. This is a place in Majory.
Brookfield.
Yep. And it just went on the market, and we'll tell you about that in a second. But look at all the land back there. So much land that they are able to plant crops if they want to, right?
Yeah.
All right, give me the lowdown.
So we're at 1020 Sharon Hogue Road, new on the market. You can find it online at kellysoldit.com.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to talk to you about some pros and cons, and mostly pros, about why you'd want to own a bunch of land. We're sitting on 17 acres here, for example.
I think a lot of people like the fact that they don't have people behind them or around them or things like that. I'm guessing that's one of your pros.
I think that's one of the biggest pros. You get privacy, you get to do what you want, you get to spread out, you get to use it how you want.
Mm-hmm.
I like the options.
Yeah, and you said 17 acres, so tell people how they're choosing to use their 17 17
So
acres.
they mow about 3 acres, covered patios, extra outbuildings, fire pits and entertaining areas and stuff like that. And then they lease to a tenant farmer the rest of the land, which gives you a nice tax discount and a little extra income for doing that. So, and you don't have to mow it or take care of it.
That's right. The other person takes care of it for
Right.
you. Are there any cons to having this much land? Because I know I can think of a couple.
Well, just the maintenance if you're not a land person. Mike wants to live in a condo,
That's
so,
right. That's right. I like a little flower bed here and there, but I don't need that particularly.
Yeah, but what if you didn't have to maintain that yourself?
Now we're talking. See, that's where it's a win-win for everybody. Okay. Anything else you can think of, pro or con, having this much land? Because there are many places out there probably where you can get 17 acres of land in one buy.
If you wanted to add on to your house, you've got room to do so. If you wanted outbuildings or animals or pastures or horses, or if you wanted to let it grow up and all be treed and, do dirt bikes and RVs and, trails through the parks and all that kind of stuff, you can do anything you want when you own the land.
And I think there are some people that have the land and either maybe sell parcels of it for people to build houses, or maybe their kids end up building houses on that land too.
People do. The number one inherent value of land is that it's a limited supply. So if you own a lot of it, then you can sell it off, you can do different things with it, you're kind of in control.
Gotcha. All right. Let me ask you this, and I don't know, I think you know the answer to this, but if it's on kellysoldit.com, is it on the other websites
Yes,
too?
it is.
Okay.
It syndicates to about 1,000 websites.
All right, very good. So give them the phone number in case people would like to get a hold of you and find out more about this place.
330-717-2689.
And let's give them the address here one more time.
We're at 1020 Sharon Hogue Road.
Okay, there you go. Check it out. Just another edition of Home Advantage.
Papa Canzonetta's peppers, recipe established in 1975. A family secret is now yours to share with the people who add spice to your life. Choose from mild and hot versions, plus our famous original blend too. They're the perfect punch for any dish, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We've got the recipes to prove it. Just follow us on Facebook, order online at papacans.com and pick your peck. papacans.com, order 6 jars or more, and qualify for free shipping. We like it hot. We're glad you do too.
Heels is the low-cost living, anti-inflation department store.
Shop Hills in the Liberty, Lincoln Knowles, and Boardman Plaza, Youngstown, and the Ridgeview Plaza in Warren, and the Hills location in Champion, all open 10 till 10 daily.
Back here in Pesto's Test Kitchen with our special guest, Jeff Canzonetta, because of his certification.
Oh boy.
Big canning certification.
Yes,
so that's what
right.
we're talking about today, and Mark is at the ready.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Well, we're gonna make the brine for the dill pickles. We're gonna add some white vinegar, some just distilled white vinegar, your favorite kind, some garlic cloves because I like garlic dill pickles, some canning spice, and this is gonna go right onto the stove. We're gonna bring it to a boil. We're gonna pour it over the pickles. Over here we have always one of our favorites in the family, bread and butter pickles. It's got a little sweetness, a little salt, a little spice.
We use the same pickles.
The same pickles.
Cut them differently, and we're preparing them differently.
So we have some apple cider vinegar, some black mustard seed, some regular yellow mustard seed, some turmeric for the yellow golden color, looks beautiful, a little bit of celery seed because always with pickles and bread and butter you love that pickle seed, some granulated garlic, some sugar, a decent amount of sugar, a decent amount of salt, and we're going to put that on the stove, bring it to a boil, bring it up to about 185 degrees, and then we're going to pickle. Tomatoes, after we skin them, we have them chopped here. They're going to go on the stove right now, and we're going to get those cooking, and then we're going to, once those are up to the proper temperature, we're going to puree them with an immersion blender, and we're going to put them into the jars as well.
And that's just like the beginning of
That's the
your
beginning,
sauce, right?
exactly. That's a base to your sauce.
That's the base.
But I'm going to let little brother take over and go where he's got to go.
Let's talk peppers. Tell them, remind people what kind of peppers are in here.
Okay, first off, we have our mild orange pepper. Yeah. And then we have our goat pepper, and then we have our Hungarian hot. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is also get some of this Morton canning salt. So we're going to be generous with it. We're going to salt it.
And if you missed it before, canning salt, use that instead of iodized salt.
Absolutely. And then we have our garlic. I love garlic, so
we doing all that?
Huh?
Are we putting all that?
Oh, we're putting all. No, I don't know. What do you think? We should put.
I think go for it, bro.
I don't know. That's a lot of garlic. I don't know. What do you think?
Garlic,
all right, we're gonna throw it all in. All right. We got garlic in there. Now we have this wonderful oregano. So we're gonna throw some oregano in there, and what the heck?
There you go.
And then we have some of our oil that we use here. Then we're going to throw our oil in here, real nice.
Now you're just, this is kind of the recipe. You're
Well,
just
I mean,
eyeing
people have it
You know
down
what you
to
like.
measurements.
That's the basis for
I
Papa's
mean,
recipe.
I could get technical on it, but I have to kill you.
I think it's all in what you like.
All right,
Some
and
people
then
like
we
more
have
garlic,
our
less more
Regina.
garlic, saltier, not as salty, vinegary.
And then, of course, the red wine vinegar is what we use to acidify the product. We want to get that acid in there.
Okay.
So we have this right now. So what we're going to do is get our hands in here, and we're going to mix it up real
You're
good.
gonna make those happy, little brother.
How much are they? How big of a thing are we talking about here? How many pounds of pepper?
Oh, this is probably about 20 pounds of peppers, give or take.
Okay.
After you clean them. Now we leave our seeds in. Some people don't. Some people like to take them out. I believe
Jeffrey,
I believe they have flavor. So
I think what you got to talk about is what you guys have on your hands. Nobody knows why you're wearing gloves.
Well, I'm wearing gloves too. If you decide to go with camo, and I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to have hot hands for a couple of days. So
My eye has itched
are
for about
I'm just
20
saying,
minutes.
you want to be very careful.
Don't itch it.
Want to be
And
very
Mike, you have to
careful.
go to the bathroom, wash up first.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to do now, we're just going to give it a little simple taste. See where we're at.
Yeah. Feel good about that?
I think we're just going to add a little bit more salt.
Okay. And that's what you got to do while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, you always got to taste your product. Add a little bit of salt, and I think we're there.
All right.
We're going to let these sit.
That's Dad's classic tub. That's about 30 years old. Dump it in there. We're going to get it on the stove.
So we let this sit, then we take it to the stove, right?
Yeah, we're going to get it to the stove because, there's a couple different ways of hot canning. There's hot packing and cold packing. I think in the next segment, we'll get into the difference in those two.
Okay.
There we go.
Take this
All
over.
right, Mike. Nice with the big pan.
There you go. How long does that sit on there?
That's going to sit on there. We're going to bring it up to at least 185 degrees to can.
Okay.
Bring it up to a boil is the simplest way. It depends on how crisp or soft you like your peppers. If you like them a little bit crisper, just 185, take them off, immediately can them. If you like them a little softer, go all the way up to boil.
Okay.
All right.
Let's take our break.
We're going to take our break. We're going to come back and we're going to can.
That sounds
All
good.
right.
Be right back.
Thank you.
Well, DoCut not only sells the product, but we service them. We have parts and service support for every machine that you buy at DoCut. You are purchasing a machine, it's eventually going to break or need work, and we are here to do that. You don't get that from an online sale or a mass merchant. They just don't have the ability to have the parts and the service. We send our mechanics to school every year. We have 2 Briggs & Stratton master service technicians. There are not many in the country, probably less than 5,000 in the country, and we have 2 at DoCut. And we also have gold certified steel mechanics and numerous certifications in parts and service for every brand that we carry.
So let yourself go to DoCut. Let yourself go to DoCut.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. Are you thinking of selling your home but you're not sure which agent to hire? You have a lot of choices, but really the choice is simple. Because there's only one agent I would trust to sell my home. Go to KellySoldIt.com and check out Kelly Warren's guarantee to sell your home or she will buy it. You can also find out how her marketing system creates demand and sells a home every 48 hours. Go to KellySoldIt.com and get your home sold.
RC Compounding specializes in preparing affordable and natural hormone replacement therapy just for you.
I was spinning my wheels before. I didn't know what was wrong, and now I feel I have a sounder mind. I can sleep better. When your hormones are off, your whole body is off, your mind is off. So I feel a lot better. I feel like I can do anything.
RC Compounding, we care about your health.
All right, we are back. Jeff is ready with his peppers and oil, and you're ready with your pickles.
Yes.
And there's the tomato sauce, and we're ready to go. So why don't you go ahead and get us started here?
Absolutely. We're going to fill our jar.
And we cook this to what?
Actually, we brought this up to, you have your trusty thermometer here. We put that in there. We want to bring it up to 185.
Okay.
All right. I just cooked that recently, so it is holding temperature at 185.
Why 185?
We want to kill all bacteria, plus that's the temperature our recipe asks for.
Okay.
You know, you want to kill all bacteria.
All right.
So what we're going to do is fill. If I get this thing right. You want it close to the container. We're just filling. Filling real hot. Real
So
nice.
you do the peppers first, the juice
Oh,
second.
I do the juice second.
Okay.
You know why?
No, I don't.
Because I like to get a feel. I like peppers in the jar. I don't want to have all that liquid. You know, we want peppers, and that's what people want.
All right. You work on that.
Yeah.
What are you doing over here? Now, this is interesting to me because on the dill, you just pour the sauce in.
Right. And the pickles, they're gonna because
bread and butter, you cook the pickles.
I cook
So
the
we're gonna
pickles
go
because
ahead
I
and
want
pull
those
the other
pickles
one.
to taste all that turmeric and mustard seed and celery seed and granulated garlic, sugar. Plus, you want these ones a little bit softer. Now, if you want them crunchy, you can do them the other way, and that's fine. So we're just gonna put them in here, and then I'm gonna take the lid. Put it on top. Now these have been brought up to a quick boil, so they're nice and sanitary.
See how that hot's coming up there?
You just get a
Real nice and hot.
soft seal on that, Mike. You don't want it real hard, and we're going to stick it upside down because we want that seal to create that vacuum on that seal.
And that's what does it?
In about 5 minutes, we're going to come back, and then we're going to turn it over, and it's going to pop.
Because of the heat? Is that what seals it?
The heat seals it, absolutely.
Oh.
Then we have that beautiful pureed yellow tomatoes. How gorgeous is that? You know, my father and I always had a little battle. Like, my dad's a traditionalist, and he did not like my yellow tomato sauce one bit whatsoever.
So we're tapping them down inside here also. We want to get a nice little tap in it.
Oh, there you go.
So what we're going to do is add some liquid to it.
That fills up the rest.
That fills up the rest.
All right, 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
Can I use the jars I used last year?
Well, yes, you can. I recommend that you wash them at least once, twice, 3 times. You want to get all the grease off of them. I don't recommend some people want to use their lids.
Don't do the lids?
Don't do the lids. I mean, you can do the sealing lids, but the lids that actually touch the product, I wouldn't reuse.
I wouldn't recommend it either.
I mean, some old timers, they do that to saving some money, but when you're talking about they cost a couple bucks for safety and you want your family to be okay.
We talked about how I shouldn't eat a whole jar of peppers at once. I think that's a good tip. But when
Absolutely.
I do open it up and I pop it in the fridge, how long is it good?
I'd say
gosh.
6-8 months.
6-8 months.
Seriously?
Yeah, you're good for 6-8 months.
So this is important also, like Mark was saying, a little vinegar bath. And what we want to do is just wipe this lid, wipe this rim, and that makes sure that there's no oil on that rim right there.
Now this is the test, though.
Because
this is the litmus test.
this is really that's important. And then we have a one cap lid. He has a 2-cap lid. This is a little simpler, less time. So you want to put that on there and just tight. You don't have to go crazy and get it super tight. Just tight.
Then you flip those too?
And then we're going to go ahead and invert. And we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that.
That's awesome.
And then we're going to go ahead and let those rest.
It does look good. But I think we have to have a little litmus test
Have
here,
some bread
bro.
with it.
Oh, I love the bread.
I mean, I know you don't like it. I know you just do it for TV, but we appreciate it. Hey, good job, you guys. Hey, get their peppers. Get Papa Canzonetta's peppers.
Oh, absolutely.
Bistro 1907.
Awesome stuff, man.
Good job.
And it really all started with salt, with Himalayan sea salt. That's where it all started because of a patient who came in and told me about the benefits of salt therapy, which is inhaling Himalayan sea salt, an aerosolized Himalayan sea salt. And I found that my patients were having fantastic results using salt therapy, and I wanted to know how could I incorporate the Himalayan sea salt into products that would benefit the sinuses and the skin. And that's where Salt Me was born.
Welcome back to Lena's Pierogi House. I finally had my first bite of the buffalo chicken.
Pretty good.
Out of this world.
Lots of thumbs up for this.
So good. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to see this next story. Dan
Yeah.
Rivers, he is like one of the bigs, one of the greats.
They call him the voice of the valley.
He is.
Because he's been doing it for so long.
I'm sorry that you're not.
And I'm not the voice of the valley, nor the face. But he followed his passion, like we've been talking about on this whole show ever since he was a little kid.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is Dan Rivers on 570 WKBN.
There he is, Dan Rivers, in his familiar chair at his familiar station. For 41 years, Dan has been doing what he always wanted to do since he was a kid on the other side of Ohio.
When my father gave me the True Tone radio back when I was maybe 9 or 10 years of age, and I listened to WOWO in Fort Wayne, Indiana, listening to hockey, even though I'd never been to a hockey game. I loved radio. I knew from the very beginning what I wanted to do.
2 tours in Vietnam and stops in Columbus, Coshocton, Delaware, Ohio, and then Detroit eventually led him to Youngstown State, and then finally the airways here in the Valley.
We have changed. Our valley has changed. I can remember in the 1970s and the 1980s, we were wringing our hands. We were waiting for the airplane factory to come into the Youngstown Regional Airport, and we were going to build something called the Yak. And the only thing we got out of it was a building.
Dan has changed too.
When I first started in radio, I used to think, hey, this is Dan Rivers, how are you? The Boots Bell type thing. That's what we thought the radio should sound like. You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
When I was in broadcasting prior to college, I was fairly ignorant because I was not a good student in high school. Things have changed more with technology, and I've embraced all kinds of the technology. As you look around the studio, here's a call screener. Here's a computer that I can look up anything I want. Over here is something called Next Gen. Here's an iPad. Here's another iPad. Then, of course, for the backup, I got a phone. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
You have all of these types of things. I guess the big thing is now is the pursuit of passwords, right?
Right.
Trying to keep those straight.
And good luck with that.
Yeah.
Dan will be the first one to tell you that he's had some good luck along the way, but he's worked hard to get to the top.
I am still trying to pursue the correct way to do the show every day. And I think that's what makes the show better, is because I'm trying to figure out what is actually the best way to prepare for the show. What's the best topics to have out here? How much technology do you need?
This career has taken Dan places he'd never be able to go and meet people that most people would never get to meet.
I'd say they're really cool. You know what? Every time Jay Leno comes to town, he sits right where you are. He comes in, makes it a point to come to this radio station, and sits down and talks just like you and I are talking. And I had a chance to introduce Jay at Stambaugh Auditorium, and he and I and my wife, we sat backstage and we talked about everything for 20 minutes. Just a decent guy.
He gets to meet some stars and then share his views on the air.
Well, I can tell you what I'm passionate about.
Okay.
In Mahoning County, we are going to try to add a 0.25% sales tax to pave every county road in the next 5 years. We are going to have pristine roads here in Mahoning County, and I'm fully behind this. We have people that are coming into the United States right now that we don't know who they are, what they need, what their intentions are. I just can't believe that we're doing this during COVID. Those are 2 topics that I am very passionate about.
So, every weekday from 9 till noon, you'll find him here, talking.
All right, Joe Bell, 570 WKBN. All right, down to Orlando, my friend Rory. Hey, Rory.
And knowing it's important to listen to.
Why do you think this news talk works as well as it does?
I think one of the reasons is that people still want to be connected. It's really like when you call a computer company. Isn't it great to talk to somebody who really gives you good service? And that's what we do. I feel a large part of our job is really public service. And being able to, people can call us. And
he sleeps a little later now.
I do. In fact, my wife is kind of my partner now. She's a retired critical care nurse, and she takes great pleasure in getting up and looking through the news and saying, here's some things you should be talking about. I sleep in a little bit longer, and she has a lot of things prepared for me.
And that's the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
Well, I'll ask you what everybody asks you. How long are you going to do it?
As long as I'm relevant and able to do it with some sort of professionalism, I wouldn't want to do it if I thought that I couldn't. But you got to think, it's an amazing thing that iHeartMedia has trusted me to take 3 hours, their 3 hours, and really say anything that I want with very little guidance from them. My critics are fairly vocal in the text message and the email. Not everybody loves you or not everybody agrees with you, but a lot of the callers disagree with me, but I find that when I do go out, there's a lot of people that say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep telling the story of the Mahoning Valley.
So there you go. Dan's on 9 to noon, Monday through Friday on WKBN. That's 570. And what a thrill. I got to sit and get interviewed by him, too. It was just really neat.
We talked about the Grand Resort and everything going on in Avalon. I loved it.
I love that I am able to, I started working in this business so long ago that I got to interact with some of the old school people, and I really, really like that.
Someday he'll be the old school person.
I already am in this room. I'm sure of it.
True.
Lena's back. I never asked you, how many different kinds of pierogies can you make?
Yes, 75.
About 75.
What, do you have a favorite?
My personal favorite is the sweet cottage cheese. It
Oh,
reminds
yeah.
me of the dumplings and cottage cheese that we used to make growing up at my grandma's house.
Oh, that's special.
Was there one you didn't like growing up that they kept just pushing on you every Easter or Christmas?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No, there's no such thing as a pierogi that we
no
don't
bad
like.
one.
You can put anything in a pierogi.
Yeah, it's to die for. And you can get Papa's Peppers here too. And you made you made the pierogi with them in there, and we
did.
sold out in like
We did. It was
2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's that good.
It was a big seller.
That good. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Before we go, what do you got coming up? I know you got some things Labor Day weekend, right?
We have with the Shop Small Hubbard, we have the garage sale, the 60-mile garage sale. It's going to come right up through the street here.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be outside with the grill.
Right out front?
Right out front.
Cool.
We're going to do kibasi sandwiches, pierogi, stuffed cabbage.
Michael's like, all right. I guess if I have to come, I will.
It's killing me. It's killing me. Like if my physician asks me what my problem is, I'll just say, Lena. It was fine, and then they had pierogies and kielbasa and everything else. No.
It's worth it. It's so worth it.
Anything else? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's it.
That's it. That's all that's coming, Michael.
That's it. All right, I'm going to be here for a little while.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Absolutely.
You better stay too.
You got to eat it all before you leave.
It's so good.
You can't leave the table.
Sabina, Fred, Ron, we know it's all going to be gone in 2 seconds.
You do have to-go containers, right?
We do.
Okay, thank goodness. All right, very good.
As always, thank you always for watching Valley Spotlight. You can do so anywhere at any time at valleyspotlight.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We're all over the place. You can't get away from us even if you tried, right, Lena?
Right.
That's right. Want to see our retromercial?
Yes.
When I don't know
Radio
about
Shack.
you guys. Like when we went to Florida, or not Florida, Georgia one time for summer vacation, my dad got like a makeshift CB radio. We didn't have one installed like Ron, the cameraman, did. But we had, when we could talk to truckers and find out the traffic patterns and things like that, it was the coolest thing. So we have a Radio Shack commercial about a CB radio. Did you ever get on the CB radio?
No.
If you had a handle for yourself, what would it be?
I love pierogi.
Pierogi girl.
Pierogi girl. All right.
For sure.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Radio Shack has the hottest thing on wheels today, realistic two-way CB radio. We introduced our realistic CB line way back in 1960, and today we have 16 low-priced mobile and walkie-talkie models to choose from. Radio Shack also makes its own CB antennas, crystals, coax cables, and accessories. Equip your car, truck, or boat today with a realistic CB radio. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
If you like this video, subscribe to Valley Spotlight on YouTube and be sure to click on the notifications bell so you know when we've got some new stuff. You also can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to us on Vimeo or our Roku channel.
Some roasted corn, some scallions.
Okay.
We're gonna hit it with, well, that could have been a little bit too much scallion, but that's okay. A pinch of salt, a pinch of